morning.
Good morning.
So, let us begin with the fact that we are here right now. You have your life, and it is to you as it is to you. Without remembering and the encouragement of forgetfulness, you tend to believe that this is all you have. This whole world has been around for a long time. Supported many opportunities for many folks. We think of today as the modern world. About 100 years ago, do you think they looked upon their immediate time and thought, this is the modern world?
Yes.
Really? 500 years ago, same thing. 1,000 years ago, same thing. We were around then. As a matter of fact, some say we were only been around for maybe 6,000, but I'd say we've probably been around longer. There's a good chance of it anyhow. As a matter of fact, we come to value things, and we experience things then through our sense of value. We say some things are valuable, other things aren't valuable. When I die, there's going to be so much that I have accumulated that at the time I got them, I thought they were valuable, that you'll look at them and you'll say, what is this? Value changes. It does. It changes for me, it changes for you. Spirituality seems to have a stigma attached to it that reveals certain values. Consider for a moment that if you don't rely on material objects or personal belongings and relationships as a source of your identity, you're an exception. You really are. I mean, I look at myself sometimes and I think, okay, I used to look differently. I used to have different things that I identified with, and then I carried some over from then to now, which in a sense reveals my value. But also, I look and I see examples that I've heard of that I don't remember experiencing, such as Jesus, such as Buddha, who apparently gave away everything, left their families, and they did so in a search for perhaps seeking or even spreading the truth. Is that a reasonable consideration for people in today's modern day living?
Not too much.
Not for many. And to say that then spirituality would have that kind of an appeal, I don't think so. And it's just as well. I don't really think that we need to have such radical considerations in order for us to experience the uplift that spirituality does and can provide for us. What's the value of this earth life then? Well, it depends upon what you see as valuable. To say that this material world is just an illusion and to call it at that, well then, what does Einstein have to say about it? He says it is a very persistent one. Illusion though it may be, albeit it is still a very persistent one. Why? Could it be that it actually is like a play that provides the stage, the parts to play, the actors, the actresses, everything, the whole works? This world provides us with the opportunity to experience ourselves and to experience each other. Is there value in that? Well, how valuable are your relationships? How valuable is your life? I think sometimes that extremes take us away, excuse me, from The realization that while spirituality is based in ancient wisdom, it doesn't mean that we can't navigate our journey through the modern world with the blessing of a spiritual awareness. The art that one must learn to cultivate in their lives in order to find a balance between honoring the physical realm for the purpose it serves while not becoming too attached to it. For one's identity, you might could say that that's called value without attachment. We hear a lot about non-attachment. Well, I can take non-attachment to a certain extent, but I find that also the roughness that I encounter with attachment reveals my identity with whatever I'm struggling with so far as attachment is concerned. To say that I've reached a place where I have non-attachment with regard to my life and everything, no, I don't. I find that I'm able to more easily let go of things that attachment reveals to me in the form of contrast. But to be attached really reinforces your sense of self. I know, that doesn't feel too good, especially around the holidays, right? Here we are just spending boku bucks. And we're doing it. Do you ever buy presents for the other person solely? That's probably the exception. You probably look at it and say, okay, if I were so-and-so, I probably would like that. Or you do it so that you please another. And look at it in the context of what we're talking about here, value now. Do you have a sense of value? Is your sense of value whole? Is it healthy when you find that you are giving yourself away to another for the sense of pleasing them so that they will like you? So, the earth life, the opportunities it provides, the stage that it sets, the supplying of actors and actresses to fill in so you're not totally alone. All of this is rather amazing because it is constantly showing to us our sense of value. What if we just value something as a means and ways of celebrating it? If we can come to that, then we have a much healthier way if we can do it in an efficient way. Money? Do you value money?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Would you like to have lots of money? Would you like to walk into your bedroom and find that all of a sudden it's just, you have to fight your way in because it's filled. Well, if it's paper money, it's okay, right? You can move them through. Have them be $100 bills, right?
Yeah.
Or better, have them be €100 bills. Because you see, the euro happens to be more valuable right now than the dollar. But if it's metal money, my goodness, you'd have a hard time forcing your way through your bedroom. Okay, so you get the point of this, right? So, but you see, money, its value really is where we spend it and why we spend it, versus frivolously spending it on things that we don't want or things that we don't really need. What if we used our money to make the world a better place?
Yes.
I was just reading a magazine called World Arc, and it was so uplifting, article after article after article. And what was it about? Donkeys, goats, pigs, chickens, rabbits, water buffalo. But with each and every one of these animals was the teaching, the making it available of how to actually husbandry these animals and make it profitable for the families that would take them so they could get out of a sense of indebtedness out of malnutrition to where they would have enough food to feed their families and at the same time be able to purchase the medications that they needed. We look at our lives and we say, oh my God, that guy's driving a Lexus. I need to buy a Cadillac. Value? Hey, I'm still talking value here. If we look and we see the opportunity that money provides us, we can then be a little more mindful in the way we go about having a relationship to money that reveals our changed sense of value. When you walked in here today and I had a chance to look at you, I had a chance to assess my value because of our relationship. And in that, I feel wealthy beyond words. You so enrich my life by who you are and what you have provided for me so far as the form of relationship that we share. It's just amazing. And this is just one lifetime of which we have the few years that we spent together, and yet they're valuable beyond comparison. I have so many people come to me for counseling who are genuinely looking for a sincere relationship, meaningful relationship, fulfilling relationship in their lives. And I think, my goodness, I have this all the time. Value. You might could say that it is an awakening of your heart awareness and a readjusting of your head perspective to help you to get to a place to where you see value reveals your love and appreciation, whereas attachment reveals your fear. So if you find yourself attached in any of the things that we've talked about today, you might want to look and see a little farther down the line. Is it genuinely a sincere connection? Or is it an attachment out of fear? And if it is, you have the right, the power, and the authority to change that. And all you have to do is just shift in your perspective to where you come to a place of realizing love and appreciation is going to give you your real best sense of value. The art that you must learn to cultivate in your life in order to find balance between honoring the physical realm for the purpose it serves while not becoming too attached to it for one's identity. Thank you. For more information about the Metaphysical Church of Enlightenment or the Rodin Foundation, please go to our website at www.rodin.org. If you have been inspired by the revelations shared in these podcasts, please donate to the Rodin Foundation's ongoing efforts to help others help themselves at www.rodin.org/donate.